Welcome back to the Resilience Building Program. I'm your host, Roger Rugi. On this video, we're going to take a few of the things that we've already covered in some of the other videos and combine it into a really cool breathwork exercise that most people don't really know about or even understand what the benefit would be. And it's about helping to build up the tolerance to carbon dioxide in our body, which adds a lot of dollars into our resilience bank account and parasympathetic restoration. Now, if you want more information on that, check out some of the previous breathwork videos to this. And of course, the deep dive comes from Patrick McKowen's work, The Oxygen Advantage, and his latest book, which is the Bible of Breathing, The Breathwork Cure. And a lot of the things we're discussing here have come from those sources. And sometimes we take a little bit of that info and other info and combine it. But what we're going to do today is some LSD. Yes. Light, slow, deep breathing. And the idea here is to do it in a very, very specific way. The first thing is, instead of breathing into the upper chest area and then down, which is how most of us tend to breathe, and most of us, frankly, are in that upper chest only. We don't go lower, which is a real detriment to our health. The idea here is to breathe bottom up. So it's a little bit of a mind game, mostly. Whereas we're breathing in through the nose, we breathe in to the bottom of the lungs and then allow it to fill from there. And for many of us, that's actually kind of a foreign concept, especially here in the West, where, again, we tend to be upper chest breathers. But we're also going to breathe in a very gentle way that challenges us a little bit. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to breathe into the bottom of the lungs and up from there. But the idea is not to take a full breath. So I'm going to breathe shy of a full breath. In fact, I want to create a little bit of a sensation. Gee, I wish I had a little more air. That didn't feel like enough. So it's right at that little line where we're going to breathe in and challenge ourselves a little bit. And then that inhale will be approximately 5 seconds. Again, never obsess over this timing issue, but around 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, fabulous. And it's very gentle. How gentle? You don't want to hear your own breath. As a matter of fact, to give you an idea how gentle this really should be, you aren't even moving a nasal hair. So we're talking very, very light breath. And again, shy of a full breath. Then we're going to exhale a little bit longer. 6 or 7 seconds if you inhaled for 5. Couple seconds longer. Whatever that pace in pentameter is for you that makes sense, great. And then at the bottom, we're going to start that next inhale and we're going to keep it shy again of a full breath. And the idea is to create a sensation just slightly that you're not getting enough air. Now you are getting enough air, you're fine, but you're going to feel a little bit like you're not. And so I always recommend to take this as a little bit of a meditation. Close the eyes, relax, and let this breath build. Now, how long do you do this? Well, do it as long as you feel like you're able to tolerate it. Maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 10 minutes. Play with it a little bit, challenge yourself a little bit, but know that as you're doing LSD, light, slow, deep breathing, it is beginning to help our tolerance for the buildup of carbon dioxide in the body. And again, that's money in the resilience bank account. I like to do this particular breath when I'm typically reading something, or maybe I'm just sitting in the fireplace area of my home in the morning on a cold Rocky Mountain winter morning, and I just practice this breath work. And what happens is I get very quiet, my blood pressure lowers, my heart rate comes into what we call coherence with a very smooth sine wave between the heartbeats. Very good for the cardiovascular system. And again, the blood pressure tends to regulate. I become very calm. I'm now 6 breaths a minute or less, and I'm nasal breathing the entire time, all of which is money in a resilience bank account. Any one of those things in and of themselves is money in that account. So now we got some compounding interest happening. And I like to do this as a way to also relax at the end of the day. So sometimes I might be sitting up in bed, for example, getting ready for my sleep period, and maybe I'm reading something. or I'm watching something on YouTube that interests me in my studies. And then I'll begin that breathing. But what ends up happening is because I'm lowering my heart rate, I'm lowering the stress of the day, I'm shifting from sympathetic nervous system dominance to parasympathetic restoration. I get sleepy really quickly and I just drift off into a beautiful deep sleep right away. Like, no waiting here, friends. There's no tossing and turning trying to get to sleep. And this also tends to quiet down the monkey mind. And the reason for that is when our heart is in a beautiful, coherent frequency, it signals our brain, specifically our amygdala, the watchdog of our environment, that everything's okay. Now, in case you think that this might lower your guard a little bit, it's not. You actually broaden your awareness. You become more aware of your surroundings. Your perceptions are increased, but without the stress. That's the zone, friends. That's the epic place that, like, athletes, police officers, firefighters in the middle of their stuff, that's where they want to be. So this is a way of really notching down the stress-related hormones in the body, promoting the right kind of hormones for parasympathetic restoration. And again, the deeper dive in this is found in Patrick McKowen's work if you want to know the science behind it. But challenge yourself with this. And then that first video we did in our breathwork series that talks about the buildup of carbon dioxide, doing a CO2 check, that number you had in that video will improve dramatically and very quickly when you add this LSD challenge to that process. Zero downsides here, and if you begin to feel uncomfortable during this breathing process, if it's creating a little bit too much air hunger, for example, well, that's fine, just stop. Just go back to a normal breathing pattern and come back to it whenever you feel like it. But what you'll notice is over time, this is very easy to do. You get used to it. You actually will end up loving it. And you just got to put it to the test a little bit, play with it a little bit, get yourself used to it a little bit. And especially this mind where it wants to go, geez, I'm not taking enough air in. Now you're going to be fine. And the mind will realize that once that amygdala settles down a little bit and the monkey mind stops, and you're just in this very sweet spot, shallow breathing, really improving your carbon dioxide tolerance. It's a game changer. I love this one. This is one I do all the time. I like all the breathwork practices I've shared with you, but this one's pretty awesome. Now, again, in the comments section, if you ever have any questions, just put them in there. Once again, if you think you might have some type of a lung or cardiovascular issue and you're concerned about any of these practices, just consult with a medical professional. These are super gentle things. It's generally not going to cause a problem for anybody, but if you absolutely have any concerns at all, go seek that medical advice. All right, friends, I'll see you at the next video.